you have a chaperone who's going to look after you. It's a silly thing. You're with her, and when you're in a hotel miles and miles from the middle of nowhere, you know, and there's people there who are over in Australia on holiday, and you know they're staying there, and you're with this bird, and you can't say, "Well, I'm a celebrity." You're not allowed to say. And they look at her and they think, "She ain't Sandra, right? What you doing in this motel in the middle of nowhere?"
Well, listen, at least they wondered who the random bird was. With me, I was with a geezer.
Mark, thanks ever so much for coming on the show. I mean, you know, I've known Mark and his family, Mark Wright's family, a boxing family, Mark, really, wasn't you? You know, going back, it was full of fantastic East End boxers.
Boxing family, obviously, and you always tell me that. I love seeing you, Harry, because every time I see him, obviously my granddad's like my hero. I love him. So whenever I see Harry, the first thing you say every time is, "How's your granddad?" Yeah. You love your granddad, and it's lovely to hear, you know?
Yeah, well, he used to look after me. We used to go in the pubs in them days around the East End on a Saturday night. So, you know, we're 17 years of age, young football at West Ham, and we'd go around the East End. And, you know, there was some tasty guys around, you know. But we used to go in, you know, Eddie's pub, and he'd always knew that he'd look after you, you know.
Whenever you talk about the East End, or my dad does, or whenever I get in a black cab in London, the minute I get it, like I reckon one out of every black cab I get in, the black cab driver will go, "Mark Wright, I used to drink in your granddad's pub back in the East End. The East End, they were the good old days." It makes me really jealous of the East End days.
Great days, Mark. We used to go there Saturday night. I mean, we'd go to your granddad's pub. We'd all get suited up, shirt and tie. Everybody had a suit. Don't matter if you were skint, you'd go and get a suit made to measure. That was the thing. Everybody went to go and get a suit that was made to measure. You'd have a mohair suit on, a tie, winkle picker shoes. You'd have, you know, pointed shoes, dressed to kill. The girls would all come out the same, all be dressed up Saturday night, all round the East End of London in the pubs. And after the pubs closed, you'd all be hanging about on the pavement, and there'd be got a party at so-and-so, £2 whip, and like, yeah, lovely, okay. So they go and get the booze. You got back to the house, there'd be a party, bit of all the great music from that era going on, and they were great times.
Lovely. You're a massive footy fan, Mark. When back in the day did you realise what team did you support?
West Ham, through and through.
Happy days.
So, but Mark, when I was growing up, Harry was the manager. So Harry Redknapp's club. When I was a kid, that was probably Harry's era of being the manager at West Ham. It was when I was a super fan, because obviously when I started playing youth team and reserve football 17, 18 for Tottenham, the football players are no longer necessarily your heroes because you're nearly one of them. But when Harry was the manager of West Ham, that's when all Trevor Morley and Cotty and
Ian Bishop,
heroes.
How I didn't go grey managing that lot, I don't know. Can you imagine? Did they like a drink or what? Oh,
I can
Mark,
imagine.
You know, getting on the coach. I remember getting on the coach, coming back. I said, "There's no boozing on the coach anymore." No, I stopped them putting beer on, and then I closed the players' bar at West Ham because I remember coming out one night about 6:30, and little kids waiting for an auto, 7:00 even. And a little boy's there. He said, "Oh, one of your players, I can't name him now, but he said he's just come out." He said he was so drunk he couldn't sign me. And I thought, what? He'd been in the players' bar, you know. So I banned the booze on the coach. I'm coming back one day. I think we got beat 3 or 4-0. So it might have been Leeds away, and they're all at the back of the coach. Suddenly they're all laughing, joking. I thought, I can hear them all. I've got the ump sitting at the front. What they'd done, they'd filled up a couple of Coke bottles with Bacardi and rum, right? And they're all at the back, making out to drinking Coca-Cola and getting on the booze. Tough times. At school, when you started playing, who did you play? What district was you in?
Harlow and West Essex, right. I played for.
And then you started training at Tottenham really early.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I was starting for West Ham when I was 7.
Right.
And I played for them till I was 11, which was obviously like a dream. And then Arsenal, Liam Brady came in for me and my brother because he plays football a couple of years younger than me. We went to Arsenal, and then there was I think, obviously I can't be too much on record saying this, but I think there was some kind of, you couldn't pay for players back then. Harry, obviously you know that. You have to be a professional or whatever. So I think they did something, Cholton did something with our school fees because we went to private school. And they paid our school fees, and that's what, because me and Josh were like, Dad, why are we going from Arsenal to Cheltenham? Like, what are you doing? Now we look back, he was getting school fees paid for. He was getting a bargain.
Yeah.
So,
I did something like that when I transferred Jamie to Liverpool. Yeah. I moved from that house to that bigger house.
Yeah. So it was kind of one of them jobs. And then when I got to 16 and left school and no longer needed the school fees paid, I had to pick, really, because I was doing all right at that point, and I signed for Tottenham. It's sort of the second year, I always remember it, David Pleat was the manager at the time, and I was flying, and I played in the playoff quarter-final for the youth team on the Saturday. I scored at Leeds away. And then I played on the Saturday against Everton in the semi-final of the playoffs for the youth team, and I scored again. And David Pleat came up to me at the end, and he said, look, we've got Tarico as a left-back. Marcel Mackay is the geezer above you. We're releasing him this summer. You're next in line. Go and have a good summer. Look after yourself, whatever. And I'd always kept myself fit during the summer. My dad used to have me running around the lake. Yeah. And this one year, I'd split up with an ex-girlfriend, and I went away to Spain where my cousin lived, and I drank alcohol for the first time. But I drank for 5 weeks in off-season every single day. I ate what I wanted, and I went back to training, and Patsy Holland was my manager. And he goes to me, he weighed us all, and I was a stone and a half overweight, and he used to make me go in training before training to burn it off. But then I got shin splints because I was overweight and I was injured. And then I started losing the love, because now it became, no longer was I the star. Now I'm trying to get fit again. So then I went to Southend. I was on the bench all year, to be fair, in League One at 18, but they went up to the Championship that year, and the left back never got injured once, so I never got on. So my year ran out, they didn't renew it, and then I went to the conference, and then once I got there, I was like, I don't like football, blah, 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 you know?
But I mean, I'll be honest, Mark, and I'm not saying it because I'm talking to you, but obviously I've seen you over the years there at Soccer Aid, and I really have always said that, I mean, you are by far and away the best celebrity that plays in it, you know? But I see you play. No, I see you play, and I don't see any way really you shouldn't have made it. And I mean that. I mean, you've got a left foot like a magic wand, really, you know, and you're a real good player. And I've always been, I came back from the first time I saw you, I said he could play in the Championship, no problem.
This is the type of guy Harry is, and we all know this, how down to earth you are, Harry. But my brother was a footballer at the time, and he'd left Scunthorpe because he wanted to get himself out of a contract, and he wanted to sign. I think he was looking at Cheltenham on Millwall at the time, and he was injured. So he'd left, got himself injured, so now he couldn't sign for a club. So he had no contracted club, so he had nowhere to do his rehab and get fit. And I told Harry on the night, and obviously my brother, you know, he's never played in the Premier League or anything, and Harry's got his squad there, and Harry asked how he was doing. I told him the situation, and I remember you said to me, listen, tell him to come in at Tottenham. He can be treated like a player, get fit, use the rehab. And then from that, he signed for Millwall. But if you didn't do that for him, that would have been 2-3 months, no physio, no rehab, no fitness, and kind of you half helped save his career at that point of his life, you know. But I don't think there's many other managers in the world that would do that.
No, he's a good player as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a good player, Josh.
Very good player, Josh, yeah.
Which did you prefer, Mark? Strictly or the Jungle?
Oh, it's hard. The Jungle, I mean, Harry, I don't know. I've heard you speak about it before, but I mean, although one side of it is the greatest experience of your life, and, you know, you kind of, you learn a lot about yourself, and it makes you love your family and your mum and your dad and whatever, so much more. And we heard Harry talk about Sandra all the time, obviously, but you just kind of, you appreciate life so much. It was a lesson. However, the Jungle, I don't know about you, Harry, but I found it so hard. I was hungry. I was so bored. I missed my family. I missed the real world. I found it really, really tough.
Yeah, it was tough.
Strictly was tough in another way, you know.
Do you ever think about doing Strictly Come Dancing?
Yeah. No, I didn't want to do it. I didn't fancy it at all. But what they'd done, Mark, they sent. I spoke to the girl, and she was pushing me and putting the money up, obviously, and coming back again. And I said, look, I'm not a good, I don't think I can dance, and I'm at a fool of myself, you know. So she said, well, look, we'll send Amy, will come. I'll bring a dancer down, and she'll dance. We'll organise for you to dance with her, see if you feel comfortable. And they brought a girl, Welsh girl, Amy. She's in the show now, lovely girl. And she came down, and she said, oh, we booked up the Merrick Park Golf Club for you to go there. And I said, I can't go there. My mates are all playing golf there. I said, I'm going to be dancing around with a young bird. I said, they're going to think, what's he up to? Anyway, we end up doing the cha-cha-cha around my kitchen. After I trod on her feet about 6 times, I think they realised I couldn't dance.
They did that to me when I did Strictly. I didn't want to, I said, I can't dance. I don't want to embarrass myself. And they sent a lady to me to practice to show that there is potential. Somehow I got to the final, but I was horrendous.
How did your life change, Harry, when you came out of the jungle?
Well, I mean, completely. You know, from just having been involved in football and blokes coming up to me, I wanted to talk about football, and suddenly it was all women and kids coming up, you know, and I felt quite strange because I'm not like Mark. I'm an old man, you know, and suddenly I've got people knocking on the door with their 5-6-year-old daughters, all the score of signed things from it, and I feel like an old dodge pot or something. I'm thinking, well, you know, this ain't right. But no, it's been amazing, and loads of stuff since then, obviously, that I've done. You know, I wouldn't be doing this probably if I'd just retired from football and not done any. That really was, and I was really not going to do it. I mean, I was going to pull out the week before I did it. I'll be honest with you, I thought, I can't do this. It's not for me, you know. And I remember saying, I said before, I played golf with Kevin Bond. He said to me, Harry, and I said to him, I'm going in, I'm doing it. I'm very close to Kevin. I said, I'm not going to do it. I don't think I can do it. He said, what an opportunity for you at your age. What a thing to do. He said, you're mad. Go and do it. You know, you can't play golf every day in the winter. Get out there. He said, it'll be a great experience. So I did it, and it was a great thing for me to do.
What are the weirdest things you ate in the jungle?
Everything was weird. I couldn't. I'll be honest. When the food come up, you know, you're going out and doing all these trials to get food, and when it arrived, I'm looking at it, I couldn't even face eating it. I mean, wallaby wings and something else. I'm thinking, I can't eat that, you know. I'm an old East End eat. I want pie and mash, Mark, or fish and chips, you know what I mean? That's what
exactly.
You give me anything too exotic, mate, I'm not there, you know.
How long were you on the show for, Harry?
Well, you do, like, it's about 21 days, but you have a week when you first go, Mark, didn't you, where you're in lockdown. And you know, you go there, and you have a chaperone who's going to look after you. And I had a New Zealand lady was looking after me, and she just follows you. It's a nightmare. I mean, the silly thing, you're with her, and when you're in a hotel miles and miles from the middle of nowhere, you know, and there's people there who are over in Australia on holiday, and you know, they're staying there, and they're from England, and they'll see you like, hello Harry, how you doing? We're big Spurs fans. We're over on holiday, yeah. And I'm with this bird, right? And they look at her and they think, she ain't Sandra, right? What you doing in this motel in the middle of nowhere?
Well, listen, at least they wondered who the random bird was. With me, I was with a geezer.
Mark, the funniest thing, right? So I'm with this bird, Tina. So we go out. First night we eat in the hotel. The food was disgusting. So next day we're going out for a walk. There's a few shops by the little marina thing, and there's an Italian restaurant. I said, oh, it's Italian. I said, can we go out to eat? Yeah, she said, we're allowed to go out to eat if you want to. I said, yeah, I can't eat that food in here. He goes, let's go out. So we go and book in this Italian. We walk in, it is buzzing, full up, right? Over comes the geezer, who owns it, is Croatian. Oh, Redknapp, my favourite coach. He said, you had all my great Croatian players, Modric, Pozanecki, Davor Suka. He went, oh, yeah. He said, I get you a nice, what do you drink? I said, red wine I like. I get you a lovely bottle of red wine. And your wife, what's your wife? What do you like to drink? I went, no, she's not my wife. He went, Harry, don't worry, I'm a man of the world, no problem. Right, I swear. Right? So next night, we went there every night I go and he's going, hey, Harry. I'm going, no, you don't understand. You can't tell him what you're doing.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it, and good luck, guys.
Love to all the family, Mark, eh?
Cheers, guys.
Take care, mate.
Bye, Mark.